All right, welcome back, Metal Warriors and Guardians. Happy 2025. I imagine that this year in metal is going to be tremendous, but this show is all about 2024. We're going to take a look back. This is my top 10, and I formatted this show just for you guys so that not only is there my top 10, but I added 10 more worthy companion albums that I figure they're a pretty close match, so you're going to get 20 albums all the way through. And I wanted to start off by thanking all 166 of my subscribers who came on board and supported the Cast Metal YouTube channel. I am eternally grateful. Thank you so much. Also, the band's 1,205 new releases in 2024, and that's just on Apple Music, and that was just added to my doom scrolls, but there were a lot more. I was approached by independent artists, and I did videos for a few of them, and there are just so many and so much creativity out there. It is unbelievable. So if you're ready, we're going to move ahead now, and we're going to get through my top 10 real quick here. All right, so if you have not heard about Blood Incantation Absolute Elsewhere, I don't know where you've been, because this album is the highlight of every metal and hard rock magazine that there is out there. Some of the biggest acts have come forward and they said that this is going to be the most promising album of 2024 for sure. And I completely agree. So I started off the show with Blood Incantation Absolute Elsewhere. What an album. Progressive with death metal blended in perfectly. And I added Isle of the Cross, Faustus the Musical, as a companion album. So my next album here, Inhuman Implants by Atoll. If you are a slam death metal enthusiast, you have to get this album. If you haven't heard it yet and you are on board with the heaviest of the heavy, this album is an abomination. It is amazing, tremendous. It is well produced. Followed them with Enthusiasm, and I added Ekbom by Benighted. And my next album here, Cometh the Storm by High on Fire. I love me some doom, sludge, stoner metal, and this album was one of the best of the year for sure. Tremendous from start to finish, all the way through. This album is literally a masterpiece, and actually they are an award-winning band as well. They won a Grammy as well a couple of years ago, but this new release from 2024 is a pinnacle album for High on Fire. And I added Tottengott, Beyond the Veil for you as a match. This next album, what can I say? It is literally the perfect package. They are a death metal machine. This is Skeletal Remains, Fragments of the Ageless. Tremendous album all the way through, from beginning to end. The album is flawless, great production, great sounding recording, crunchy, slashing, powerful death metal delight all the way through. I promise you, if you haven't heard them, you gotta get it. And I matched them up with Embryonic Autopsy, Origins of the Deformed. This next album right here, Suffer and Become by Vitriol. This is, out of my top 10, I believe, the absolute pinnacle of brutally heavy all the way through. The album starts strong, gets stronger and stronger and stronger all the way through, almost until you feel like you're being strangled to death by death metal. Wow, what a tremendous album from Vitriol. And I added Oceano, Living Chaos as a companion. This next album, if you are a hardcore punk metalcore type fan, then you are going to love It's Inside You by Candy. This album, incredible all the way through. Not a flaw in it. I found that there was, approaching the end, it was starting to lull down a little wee bit, but the 90% of the album was absolutely amazing. Don't know if I can say that, but I did. Fantastic album. It did make my top 10, and I added Duca, A Place You Can't Come Back From, as a companion album. This album, one of the most amazing albums of 2024, Bury Your Gods by Deliver the Galaxy. Wow. Just hang on until you have heard this album. It is the most refined, incredible, beautiful death metal album I think that I've heard in a long time. I think that you guys will agree. There's a reason it made my top 10, and I added Rotting Christ, Pro Christu. And then there's this album, the Bisection Collection from Therapy. Denmark has made huge waves this year. Just about everything that came out of Denmark was mind-bogglingly good. This album, it made my top 10 quite easily. I absolutely love them, and it turns out that they happen to be a terrific bunch of guys as well, and I really hope that they make their way out to North America on tour. And I added Cognitive, Aberrance. I saw them live a few months ago. What a band. Hunger by Worm Shepherd. This album defies just about everything that I know of deathcore and death metal put together, symphonic sound. I keep asking myself the same question: how did they do some of the things that they did? Because the production, the blending of all of the musicality that's within, it's very, very difficult to describe, but it is so intensely, immensely heavy. And I matched it up with Ingested, The Tide of Death, and Fractured Dreams. I think that you guys will agree it's a pretty good match. This album, Morta Skuld, what a tremendous album. Came out earlier in 2024. The album, from beginning to end, is an onslaught. Morta Skuld has been around for quite a while, over 30 years. Fantastic album all the way through. There's not a dull spot in here. The production level is aces. I think that you guys will agree. And I added Ill Disposed in Chambers of Sonic Disgust. So next we're gonna rank them. Hey, let's see how we turned out here. In 10th position, I picked Candy. Hardcore, right to the end. I love it all the way through. Unique, fantastic band. This is Candy. And my next album is in the 9th position, High on Fire. Cometh the Storm. Talk about a worthy album all the way through. This wasn't an easy thing for me to do, guys. Trust me, any one of these could have made the number one. High on Fire at number 9. The Bisection Collection from Therapy. I put them in at number 8. The album was phenomenal all the way through. It was such a tough decision to put them in number 8. They could have made 4th or 5th or 3rd even. This album, Worm Shepherd, unbelievable all the way through. I placed them in at number 7. I think that if you listen to the album, you guys will agree it belonged in my top 10 for sure. Could have made 2nd or 1st place. Atoll, Inhuman Implants. I placed them at number 6. Fantastic album. They're still in my regular rotation today. Phenomenal stuff. That is Atoll, Inhuman Implants. Surprise, surprise. I bet you thought I was going to place them at number 1. I did not. Absolute Elsewhere by Blood Incantation came in at number 5. So next up, my next 4 coming up are going to be very intense and very tight for sure. Stay tuned. We're almost there, I promise you. Okay, so Morta Skuld came in at number 4. Thunderous, almost a perfect, flawless performance all the way through. It was very tough to place them at number 4. Could have been number 1 easily. What can you do? Next one, Vitriol, number 3, Suffer and Become, the most brutal album of 2024. I believe if you listen to it, I'm pretty sure that you'll be hard-pressed to find anything that's heavier. Tremendous stuff from Vitriol here at number 3. Bury Your Gods by Deliver the Galaxy came in at number 2. Amazing, refined, balanced performance, incredible production out of Germany, I believe. And what an amazing album. Number 1, Skeletal Remains, Fragments of the Ageless. My number 1 album, still high and tight. I still listen to this album once or twice a week. Fantastic stuff. And that's it. It was the most unbeatable album of the year for sure. I absolutely love them. And that is Fragments of the Ageless by Skeletal Remains. And there they are, everybody. And yeah, that is my top 10 up on the bulletin board. So, you know what? We look forward to a tremendous year in 2025. Hopefully you guys will join me. And you know what? Thank you for joining me here today. I appreciate you. Happy 2025. Cheers.